What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Perriente, The Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. And today is a very dark day for Major League Baseball. News that came out this afternoon: the Houston Astros organization fired and suspended for 1 year manager A.J. Hinch and general manager Jeff Luhnow, following the fallout from a camera-based sign-stealing scandal that Houston was using during their 2017 World Series run. May have carried over even into 2018, perhaps, as well. Now, in addition to that, Houston was fined $5 million and was stripped of 2 first and second round draft picks. Well, they're going to lose a first and second round draft pick for 2020 of this year and 2021 of next year. Now, I commend the organization for firing Hinch and Luhnow. It had to be done. But what upsets me a lot right now is how the players that were doing this, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, George Springer, Carlos Correa, they haven't even been fined or suspended, or any form of punishment has been thrown in their direction. And that, for one, upsets me. Because you know what that did? They might use other means to try to cheat or do some other kind of BS with stealing signs in some other way. And not just from banging a can in the dugout, or whistling, or doing some other method that we might not know about of stealing signs. In addition to them, Alex Cora could be next on this list of possible getting suspended and fired for his involvement using this cheating scandal that may have helped the Red Sox win the World Series in 2018. Right now, if you're a Dodgers and Yankees fan, you have every right to be upset today. You have every right to be outraged today. Particularly because your two teams got screwed and possibly swindled out of the World Series and league championships. This can't go unpunished. No way. I expect there'll be a lot more fallout coming forward, and I'm sure there'll be other players and other managers, coaches that are going to come forward and are going to want swifter action. Because a $5 million fine, that's like nothing. And while I commend the organization for dismissing their manager and general manager, more could have been done, and more should be done. A lot of folks have come forward asking, why isn't Houston and Boston perhaps getting stripped of their World Series championship? Why don't they just vacate the title? What disturbs me more than anything, even though owner Jim Crane had a press conference today and even said he has no tolerance for this, he'll go out and say the World Series Houston won was not tainted. Not tainted. The fact that Houston now has already not only been accused of it, but it's been proven that they were using these sign-stealing signals to cheat, to get an unfair advantage on their opponent illegally, And you're going to say that title of theirs should not be tainted? What Houston has done today has disgraced the integrity, disgraced the respectability, and more importantly, ruined the reputation of America's game. That's what this has done today. What amazes me more than anything, and this actually shocks me a little bit, the players that have all been involved in this have stayed quiet. I haven't heard any tweets from any of the main four on the Houston Astros. Maybe you'd figure they would come to AJ's defense. Maybe they would come to Luhnow's defense and say, we would never do something like this. We would have told our manager. Well, the fact that they're not even talking means they know. They know what they did. But do they know what other penalties might come forward to them for doing what they did? And as I said, Alex Cora will probably be next to be fired and suspended. Red Sox were already in trouble for using an Apple Watch during a Yankees game 2 years ago. And if it's found that the Red Sox were using the same cheating to help them win the 2018 World Series, now you have to look at, is that World Series tainted? Which now, more likely than anything, it is. Now I have to give kudos to where it's due. And people will probably have different opinions about this. But we've got to thank former Astro Mike Fiers for bringing this up in November. He didn't have to. He could have kept his mouth shut. He could have just said nothing was going on. But if something is going on, and we're always taught this in life, or even when you work in the subway in New York, they always say, if you see something, say something. Well, Mike Fiers said something, and here we are today with part of the fallout from what Fiers brought up. And this is going to affect the game a lot going forward now, because I'm not saying other teams might not have been using this similar type of technology to steal signs, and I'm not saying players don't do it. They do. But they do it through hand signals. They'll maybe be like on second base, they might try to make the hitter know something the pitcher doesn't. And at that point, that's the pitcher's job to change the signs and make sure that he and his catcher are on the same page. The pitchers and catchers have to change signs a lot throughout an at-bat. Pitcher might have something the catcher wants. Maybe the catcher might want something that the pitcher doesn't want, etc. But when Houston was proven to have done today, goes beyond any of this. I'd like to think if you had to compare and contrast steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, versus using cameras and etc. to engage in sign stealing to give yourself an unfair advantage behind a team's back, which is worse? While steroids enhance your performance, they do not have microchips in the medicine to let you spy on a pitcher and spy on another team and try to steal their signs, kind of like with Spygate, etc. What Houston did, crosses the line beyond what steroids do. I'm sure I'll get an argument about it, but using sign-stealing technology, that's a little more egregious than roids. I'd love to hear the argument about this. I want to read a little statement. I'm going to read two statements here, actually. I want to read a statement from Jeff Luhnow via his attorney. The middle line of this 3-paragraph statement tells the whole story. From Luhnow, quote, "I am not a cheater. Anybody who has worked closely with me during my 32-year career inside and outside baseball can attest to my integrity. I did not know rules were being broken. As the commissioner set out in his statement, I did not personally direct, oversee, or engage in any misconduct. The sign-stealing initiative was not planned or directed by baseball management. The trash can banging was driven and executed by players, and the video decoding of signs originated and was executed by lower-level employees working with the bench coach, Alex Cora. I am deeply upset that I wasn't informed of any misconduct because I would have stopped it." Jeff Luhnow, if you're trying to dissuade us and divert us with this ham-handed segue into proving your innocence and throwing your players under the bus, the words of Dr. Hannibal Lecter, it won't do. Everybody can see through this complete nonsense. You knew what was going on, and you didn't stop it. And I'm sorry, but that is part of a general manager's job. In addition to the manager's job, A.J. Hinch, you're not out of this. No. You may not have actually done anything to do this scandal, but it happened under your watch. You could have easily come forward and stopped it. But Luhnow, you just said, I wasn't informed of any misconduct because I would have stopped it. You knew. Your players knew. That's why they haven't gone out on Twitter trying to defend you. And more importantly, you threw every player on your team as a kind of a going away present, kind of a parting shot. You threw everybody, all the players, under the bus by saying the trash can banging was driven and executed by players. You admitted it. And then the video decoding was executed by lower-level employees working with the bench coach. So Alex Cora, you're going to be shown the door, if not by tomorrow, who knows when. But you're going to be out the door before 2020 regular season begins. And you're going to be out of a job. You're going to be suspended a year, just like Hinch and Luhnow. It's pretty crazy how Houston went from a respected franchise, how they went from a do-everything-right organization, and how quickly their reputation is ruined, just like that. And this is not going to be the last we're going to hear of this. Oh, no. More things are going to be uncovered from this whole cheating scandal. And Major League Baseball Commissioner Manfred better do the right thing and make sure serious changes are brought throughout baseball, because this, just like domestic violence, this has to go under a zero-tolerance policy. We cannot see cheating like this in baseball or in any sport ever again. Trust me, folks, the worst is yet to come. Jonathan Perriente, The Education 10, saying bye for now.